Good morning.
Good morning. This seminar will be recorded, and we will upload the record and also the program presentation on our website on the call page as usual. So you will have all this information to retrieve when you will be drafting your application form. So first of all, I would like uh, to welcome you to this seminar. Congratulations, you made the first part already. So this is a very good start. We are happy to have you on board. So we have quite a short seminar for all the information we want to provide you. For this reason, some information will be detailed, some others will not be detailed, but will be in the PowerPoint that will be shared with you on our website. And also for anything that is general and not specific to this meeting, for example, in building the work plan, in entering information on the application form on GEMS, you can also have access to the former seminars we did for the last call, for the fourth call, for example, where all this information is detailed by topic. Here we want to have an exchange and to give you specific information on this call in particular, on what is expected. So let's start with the agenda. We start with the agenda. We will present some key figures on the pre-application step to know where you stand. Then some reminders on the expectations of this call and how you will access the full application form. The strategic content, the partnership, the work plan, the communication activities, the budget, and then, of course, the full application process and the supporting tools you can use. We will try to have a short comfort break around 11:15, 11:30, depending on how we advance in the presentation. And of course, you can ask some questions. Maybe we'll have a first round of questions after the work plan, and then at the end, we will privilege, as we are not so many, you can raise your hand to ask your questions. Of course, you have the chat as well, but I think that if we have a live exchange is nice. So let's go where we stand now in this pre-application. We received 92 pre-applications and we have pre-selected 25. So you are in those 25 with different, we have a lot of applications that we received in the Innovative Sustainable Economy mission, but also in natural heritage and sustainable tourism, less in green living areas, which is normal because of the specific topic. We have also quite an interesting range of partners from all countries, and we received on what we received and on what is selected. We have a nice representativeness from different countries as lead partners. We have also received quite a fair, balanced number of applications, and these are the selected ones between water scarcity and waste prevention and reduction. And also when we compare for islands or for rural and mountain areas, it's quite well balanced as well. So let's go to the call expectations. We would like to remind you some specific topics here, based also on what we have assessed, of course. As a reminder, this call is called Strategic Territorial Projects. This means that the proposal should be strategic for the territories they are tackling. This is quite important to have in mind because you need to have in mind that we need to have tailor-made solutions that address identified specific topics for the territories you are tackling, and you need to be concrete on what you expect as a territorial impact, involving the relevant stakeholders. Of course, you have already chosen your partnership. Please be really specific on the roles and how they answer to that. This call is very selective. We will select about 8 to 10 projects. So take the time to, at the end, from the 25, take the time to read again the terms of references, the program manual, and the informative documents produced by the program. Try to be clear and operational about the project objectives. Show what concrete change it will generate, the impact. Demonstrate clearly the strategic dimension of the project, how this differs from a classic thematic project. That goes beyond, of course, only the structure, study, test, transfer. It's really the strategic aspect and dimension of the project that should be clear in your proposal. Clearly demonstrates also that you will develop a tailor-made solution for the type of territory you are tackling. And also really give emphasis on the definition of the territories, why this is important for those territories and which are there. Okay, you are tackling rural areas and a solution for them. Why this is important? Of course, if you are here is because we have seen that you answer to this question in general. But sometimes maybe you need to go further and to really in the justification, in the demonstration. This is important. We need both a territorial and a policy impact, and this sometimes were not clearly defined also in the application, in the pre-applications forms. So think about that as well. These are, let's say, the main aspects we wanted to emphasize on. Just a reminder, 45 months project duration. Please stick to this duration. You cannot go. You cannot go further than 45 months. But we have also some proposals at 30 or 33 months, which is not enough for what we are thinking about. So try to be at to select 45 months for our project. That includes also the closure activities. The budget should not be should be a maximum at 4 million euros. We will go further on the budget afterwards, and the starting date of the activities should be set at the 1st of September. We have some guiding principles for the program in general and for this call in particular, but we won't come back to this now because it was already presented in the information session of the call that we held online and in Malta on site. Here is just a reminder because it's really important to take into account those principles in the drafting of your proposal. You will see that they will come back. We will come back on those guiding principles in the different sections of the application form. So this is here. Please go through them also in the program manual. It's about coordination, it's about transnationality, transferability of results, sustainability and durability of the results, and the synergies between projects. Do not forget all those guiding principles when conceiving your application form. Do not also forget the continuity in the synergies with projects. We have the continuity with what has been already done, and also the complementarity with other initiatives, programs, strategies, etc. And of course, this goes within our global program result amplification strategy, where all thematic projects, including, of course, strategic territorial projects, have a specific role to play in order, because they are the projects that are producing the results, the deliverables, the outputs that governance projects can amplify collectively, combine, valorize, transfer, and also integrate into policies. So it's really important that you work with the governance project of the mission you are linked to, and you have a specific activity to add in the governance in your plan. We will come back on this topic afterwards. Then, how you will enter your application form. It's the first time in GEMS that we use the two-step application form. It's something that we were used to apply also in the 14-20 period for some specific projects, and it works in the same way, meaning that from the 14th of January, when we will open the full application step in GEMS, you will, when entering GEMS, you will have direct access to a version 2 draft application form with all the sections. And there you will have all the information you had already inserted in the pre-application form in an editable format, meaning that you can change what you have already written. And the remaining sections, of course, will be empty, and you will have to fill them in. Just a reminder, because we know that this has caused a lot of problems to applicants. Some questions are mandatory. They are mandatory in one language only, as you can choose English or French for your proposal. All the proposals have been filled in English, so I suppose you will continue in this language, of course, meaning that when they are mandatory activity fields, you need in the French version to put an NA, a point, anything, just not to leave the field completely empty. Otherwise, you will have it will block the submission process. Also, we really want you to run the submission check process in order to be sure that you can see well in advance where you are missing information that can avoid that will avoid that will not make you that will make the submission impossible. So please be really careful on that, because it will be a pity that at the last minute you cannot submit the application form. Okay, so this was for how you will access the full application form. And when you will access it, of course, you have this project summary that you have already filled in the first time, but you can also improve this part. It's not, the project summary is not assessed in the assessment criteria. We don't have a score for the project summary. However, it's the first impression we leave to the assessor. So it's really important to draft it in a way that it goes straight to the point, first of all, and it's interesting for the reader. So it should contain the general objective, result you expect for your project, answering the question at the end of the project, what will have changed in the territories we have tackled, why we need this problem, so what is the problem, the challenge we want to address, why we should do it in cooperation and in the Mediterranean area in particular, and for the territories, the type of territories you have tackled in particular, and also how this will be obtained. So the innovative approach that the partnership will be able to implement and its ambition and scope. And for whom? Who are the beneficiaries? Who will benefit at the end of what you have done? This is the only part you need to fill in English and in French. So translate it also in French. It's really important. It should be written like maybe a storytelling or a press article, something really that gives it's easy to read, let's say, and will give to the assessor the willingness to go further and see what's in. Now, on the what's in the application form, I will let my colleague Guillaume to specifically speak about the strategic content of the project.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So just to continue with the strategic content, let's see if, yeah, okay. The slide change for everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so it's working. Perfect. Thank you. We will briefly see how to fill the application form part C2. I say briefly because there are a few sections that you already filled in for the pre-application, but these are the questions C2.1 and C2.2, but those can be improved based on the pre-application assessment. So for this strategic part, please keep in mind that it is a key section to present the strategical framework and that it should follow a logical pattern to present the relevance of your project and to convince the assessor. So it is really important that when the assessor is reading this section, it can understand what is the project about, how the issue will be tackled, and why the transnational cooperation is needed. So C2.1, I will go really fast on this one because you already filled it in, and maybe some of you will have to change it a little bit following the assessment. But it is very important to make the assessor understand through this section why your project is needed in the program area, and demonstrate how useful your project is in both thematic and territorial context. So bear in mind the goal, the mission, and the specific objective selected as well. And you must contextualize your project, explore the relevant issues and salient challenges that are tackled by the project and the context of it. Be synthetic and as concise as possible, avoiding generic assertion. So presenting your project. So C2.2, once you have presented what will your project tackle and the context of the project, you have to present the way the project definitely tackles this issue and tackle a common challenge and opportunities and what is new about the approach the project tackles, why the project should be supported. So you have to describe new solutions that will be developed during the project and/or existing solutions that will be adapted to and implemented during the project lifetime. So you really have to clearly present how your project will address the issue, and the approach followed by the project should be clearly presented and convincingly highlighted its relevance in regard to the topic addressed and the targeted area. This is very, very important. And I think that this is a point that can be improved on the full application. In this part, you can describe different steps of the project and explain how they will lead to the expected achievement. You have to build your proposal around the final aim of transferring the solutions and the result developed in line with the result amplification strategy. Once again, be as concise as possible and avoid generic assertion. We will develop a very innovative approach without presenting what is really innovative and what is really the approach. So please be as concise as possible. C2.3, so this is new for the full selection. Why transnational cooperation? So you presented what the project tackles, how it will tackle the issue, and why transnational cooperation is needed for that. So the section must be connected to the previous section, 2.1 and 2.2, and there must be a logical development all along the strategical part of the application form. So you have to explain why the project objectives cannot be efficiently reached, acting only on the national, regional, or local level, and also or describe what benefits the project partner target groups gain in taking transnational approach. You present what, so you presented what, you presented the how, and now you present the why. So it is very important to keep this logical path in mind. So this section C2 is assessed in the section 1 and 2 of the assessment, and the principles guiding the assessments are clearly presented in the term of references. So this is just a quick view of what you can find in the terms of reference, and you can see that you have the project relevance criteria and the cooperation character that are the one where this section C2 is being assessed. So you presented the what, the how, the why, and now for whom. C2.4, who will benefit from your project output? In the first column of each row, you have to select one of the predefined target groups from the drop-down list. At program level, the core target groups of the program consist of national, regional, local public authorities engaged in policy making, working together with other relevant bodies responsible for definition and implementation of policies. Plus, there are also focus and additional target groups by missions that are mentioned in the terms of references. And this is, of course, particularly important in the context of strategic territorial project. Coming after that, you have the contribution to strategies and policies. So how does the project contribute to wider strategies and policies? Here you have to indicate to which strategies and policies your project will contribute and describe in what way you will contribute. So once again, the project are not only expected to highlight the strategies and policies that they will contribute to, but also to highlight convincingly how they intend to do so. So it is very important to articulate the objective of the strategies and the policies to the way your project is going to contribute. So you have to underline concrete contribution. You should not forget non-EU strategies, meaning national, regional, local. So you can use here the field other, the category other, and this section should not be a list of strategies and policies, but really a concrete contribution of your project to those. Following the same logic, and last but not least, this is very, very important, C2.6 is dedicated to synergies with past or current projects. So which synergies with past or current EU and other projects will the new project make use of? Please clearly describe how the new project intends to build on available result knowledge for each predefined, for each project identified. Once again, be convincing, because the reader must clearly understand the need for a new project building on the past results, as well as the relevance of projects listed in the context of the application. Do not forget to report it into the work plan. So this is not just a separate section, but the application form is a whole, and this should be reported in the work plan. Our advice is to focus on quality over quantity, and it is the same for strategies and policies. So as a reminder, in the context of this call, we expect projects that are elaborating a complementary approach with results from project acting water scarcity or waste prevention that are listed in the terms of references. You have a set of projects and different programs that are listed there. And so we are expecting those to be mobilized. The logical framework of the project. So the project logical framework should be aligned with the program's mission. And we have 4 missions, but you already picked and selected the missions, the specific objectives, and it has to be to liaise with wider initiatives and program, contribute to expected program results and indicators as indicated in the terms of references, and links to project-specific objective, activities, output, results. So there is a strong focus that is being put on coherence here. And the logical framework should target the desired change on the territory. Actions deployed to implement strategical framework should be clearly presented. So you clearly have to look for consistency between all these different elements that should be logically linked and connected. So here is just a brief overview of the program architecture and how it should interact with the project architecture. So you have the program that is organized with priority specific objectives, output indicators, and result indicators, and the project should contribute to specific objectives, and its output and result should contribute to output indicators and result indicators. So this element is assessed into the third point of the assessment, into the third assessment criteria in the intervention logic. So really pay attention to this. Thank you very much. And now, following this, we are gonna go through the partnership.
Thank you, Guillaume. Yes, indeed, it's really important to read the assessment criteria and to try, when you have written your application form, each section, to compare with assessment criteria and to self-assess maybe yourself, your own application form, and to see if you answer to the assessment criteria. Like that, you will improve for sure the drafting in really answering clearly and demonstrating what you are what you are meaning in your application form. Thank you. So now Christophe will speak about the partnership that you have already filled in, but how you can improve the justification. Thank you, Christophe.
Hello from my side. I will also try if it works. No, it does not seem to.
You have to control it.
I have to control it also. Somebody has to control it for me. Okay, I got a new computer, so about this. Yes, hello again. You all have already given some information on the partnership with the pre-application. So I just want to be to focus on the points that are important for this second step. The main message is, first of all, that might occur from the feedback or from other project preparation issues. You might perhaps have an interest to give more information on the partnership. So in general, this is possible. You can improve your descriptions, the description of roles. So you can still, of course, change this section. And you also can change your partnership if this is if there are good reasons for this, of course. But you have to be careful. So this is what okay, this goes that way. If you go, you have to be careful because it is also an eligibility issue that is involved with the partnership. First of all, you know, we need some criteria that you have to follow really. This is about the numbers of countries that have to be involved in each project. Be careful. This number of countries is referring to the program area. Some of the countries are not fully included in the program area. So you have to see that you have this minimum criteria of 5 partners always from the program area, not only from the countries that are in the program area, that you have this minimum criteria in your project. Then second point is referring to the lead partner. There is a EU directive that is defining that it should be governed by a public body. And then you have another criteria that is concerning the participation of partners from EU regions of the program cooperation area. And the final criteria is concerning the IPA countries, partners, private institutions from IPA countries that should be non-profit. All this is already fixed in the manual, so I don't want to give too much details on this. Just check the manual, and when you change something, we take into account to be in line with all these informations. There is also something I don't want to insist it because it's quite clear and it's explained in the manual. These are information concerning the staff profile, first of all, of the lead partner. So there are some project roles of the staff profile that the lead partner has to foresee. And then this is basically referring to coordination, financial management, and the legal representative. And then you have other profiles that can be distributed among the project partners, referring to communication, result amplification, carbon footprint, and the so-called controller and data protection officer. So this does not have to be the lead partner, but it should be one partner of the project that is in charge of this. All this is explained in the manual, so no need to spend more time on this. Now we are going to the GEMS form, how you are providing your information. This is now this. You have two sections where you give information about the partnership. One is the C3, where you should explain what the partnership as a team, what makes your partnership as a team. Be aware of complementarities that you should point out here. Particularly important for this fifth call is also the role of associated partners, because many partners will have a lot of roles and a lot of tasks to fulfill. So associated partners have probably a particular role to play. Also, the reference to pilot territories here is very important for this particular call. So relate the partnership to your pilot territories and justify your pilot territories. If they are not in the list, particularly if they are in the list, then give a clear reference which pilot territories you are referring to, especially for rural and mountain. For islands, it's as you know, it's a little bit easier or clearer. And if you justify because it's not in the list, then please remember to provide the justification here. And also think about the 3 project phases. You will have to cover a study, a test, and a transfer phase. All this should be somehow reflected in your partnership. Then you have the second section. This is the individual section for each partner. This is the B16. This should mainly refer to the partner's competences. This means you should really describe with reference to the project, the partner's competences. In that sense, we want, for example, to see how the partners that are the team or also the unit that is working on the project is prepared to participate in the project. This could be a reference to a general related to the topic, to other EU co-funded projects, and of course also to the targeted areas. Please do not give here, we have seen this from time to time, individual CVs of persons, because we know in the end it can change, and it's not necessarily the persons that are now working on the project might perhaps interfere directly when the project is implemented. So stay on the unit side. And then, of course, also the role There are some particular competences for the role, for example, the partners' competences for result amplification, carbon footprint, or communication. Okay, I want to give a quick outlook also on just to mention the associated organizations. There are different roles of associated organizations. Clarify on what side your associated organizations are participating in the partnership, and particularly those that have a territorial role in the fifth call. This is important because some might have a very particular role as end user in the fifth call, and then it's really important that we see how they are involved in the partnership. This is just a general remark. You have also the project management where you can give information on the coordination and management structures. And then coming to the assessment criteria, just to add, because all that I have been mentioning is more or less assessed, of course. And another point that has to be added is that you have, of course, a balanced partnership, provide a balanced partnership with reference to the different sectors and territories of the program area. And of course, also each partner has to play a defined role. This is very important because sometimes we see that partners are not, one partner or so is not really does not have a good role and in the project, and then this is of course having an impact on the evaluation. So I don't want to give, because I think I've highlighted somehow what we what you have to observe for this fifth call that is particular, and you have a lot of information with the previous calls and also in the terms of references concerning the eligibility criteria and with the manual, of course. So,
Thank you, Christophe. Yes, indeed, all the parts on the partnerships except the management has been already filled in the pre-application form. You can modify in order to improve these parts. And just to answer already to some questions in the chat, everything will be reassessed from scratch because we will take into consideration the whole application form. So you can improve those parts based on the assessments you have of the pre-application form you have received. And also the bilateral meetings will help you also in knowing where you need most to improve your application form. So for the moment, all your proposals are eligible. For example, if you change the partnership, be careful because it could not be the case. So these are the kind of things you need to be careful on. Okay, let's go to the next session, the work plan with Axel, please.
Hello, everyone. So the work plan, it's the key element of the application form for explaining into detail what you are going to do as a project. It's a the space where you will explain your activities one by one, what you are going to produce through these activities, and in general, your implementation logic as it has been presented before by my colleagues. So the construction of your work plan is structured around what we call the project specific objectives. So for each of your specific objectives, you will establish one work package. And inside those work packages, you will have all your activities, your deliverables, and your outputs, and your investments. Project management must not be a work package per se. All the administrative and financial management obligations are not listed as mandatory activities as such. We kind of take them for granted because they are part of the program manual and therefore they are mandatory things for you. So that means that the work plan, the work packages are centered on the objective of your activities, what you are trying to make with your project. In GEMS, in the application form, you don't have to put budget for each of the work packages. We will go more into detail later about that. And there are some mandatory activities defined in the project in the program manual that you will have to include, and my colleagues will explain later. So as I was saying before, the work packages correspond to your different specific objectives. We don't specify a specific number of work packages that you have to include in your work plan, but we force you, let's say, to include those three that you see in the screen. They are the ones that were also explained in the terms of reference, and they correspond to the different stages of the implementation of your project: the study of the solutions, the testing of the solutions, and the transferring of your solutions. As here you can see a description. It corresponds to what it says in the terms of references, and they need to be present. If you consider that something else, some other work package could also be included, it's fine, but please respect at least the presence of these three. Inside your work package, you will have different activities, and those activities will produce deliverables. Deliverables are the elements, the different productions that then will contribute to your outputs and results. In the application form, we ask you to include the deliverables that we call the key deliverables. This means the deliverables that really contribute to the results. So if you have an internal communication plan, it's not a key deliverable. If you have your carbon footprint report, it's not a key deliverable. You must include only the deliverables that have a real contribution to your results. This is what you will see on GEMS. This section C4 is new. It was not present in the first person application form. Here you will see this section where, as I was saying before, you will have each of your work packages. And for each of the work packages, you have to write the objective, the specific objective, and also a communication objective, your activities, your outputs, and your investments. So for each of those elements, you will have to go into detail. So if you click on the tab of activities, you will have to describe its activity, and its deliverable, and also establish when those activities and deliverables are supposed to be done. Also, the outputs, you will be asked to quantify them. As it is a key element, we would like to put a specific focus on the investments. Investments refer to the elements that you need to realize your pilot actions. Therefore, they are totally linked to the work package test, and only to that, because is it like this in our program manual? So make sure that all the elements, technical or IT equipment that is needed for the realization of the pilot actions is reflected on an investment in the framework of the pilot project activities. When you are creating an investment, you need to ask yourself which kind of investment are you doing. There are different kinds. They are all detailed in the program manual, but to be clear, you can invest on infrastructure, so putting an element that will be attached to the floor or to a building already existing, or you can invest on fixed equipment, that is different equipment that is not necessarily attached to other public infrastructure, and then it's treated differently. Then you have to ask yourself if your investment is productive. It is defined in the manual. An investment productive is an investment that results as an investment on fixed capital or in material assets of enterprises that it's helpful for producing goods and services. If your investment is a productive investment, you also have to explain it in the application form. And also a very important part is which partner is in charge or is the owner, and someone has taken control of the.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, okay, it's fine. As I was saying, you have to to define which kind of investment that you're doing. And you have to define who will be the owner of the equipment or the investment or the infrastructure that you are investing in. And you have to reflect that in the application form. There are some specific rules. I'm passing the slides, but not here.
Try to control it again, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. It's important when you introduce an investment in the application form that each investment is related to one single partner and therefore is budgeted, but only one partner. So in the application form, you will have to list different investments. And yeah, if we see an investment that is developed by two partners, then it has to be divided into two investments, or one partner needs to take total control and budget the entire investment. It's important also that you express in the application form the location of such investment. It has to be presented clearly, and if the owner of the location is not the same one as the partner, then will have to be a specific agreement that you will have to provide. Each partner that is involved in an investment needs to provide a statement of capacity and compliance with the principle for investments, and it has to be annexed to the application form in a similar way as you do with the partner declarations. So you will have in the same section, you will just generate this statement of capacity and compliance. And this declaration is mandatory for all partners who are involved in investments. So as you can see, it's a very important section, investments. The investments are only eligible if they are included in the application form. So make sure to analyze your pilot actions to see what you really need to develop those pilot actions. And on the basis of that, building the list of investments in your work package, your work plan. This is how it looks on GEMS. You select an investment, and then you click to add investment to it, a new one. For classifying investment, please look at the function of each investment. Don't make one investment to put together all your pilot actions. Just be very specific about the function of each of the investments that you're making. Inside the section of investment, you will have to put the investment title. Please clearly describe what the investment is about, what you are investing in, the equipment or the infrastructure that you are developing, that you are financing with this investment. And the liability or credibility of your work plan and activities will also be evaluated on the base of this description. So it's very important that you are clearly explaining what you are putting your money on, your budget on. There will be also the place of the location of the investment. Please try to define the specific location where the investment will be implemented. Some final tips. Don't put too many work packages. Be also very specific in the description of your objectives and of your activities. Please try to be very clear so we can evaluate it better, so the reader can better understand. Don't need to put too much text. The investment section needs to be filled entirely. In the activities description, it's very important to put the partner that is in charge of the activity, that is the leader of this activity. And also be selected with the key deliverables using the definition that I told you before. And be consistent. If your project is based on solutions developed by other projects, it should be visible on the work plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this presentation on the work plan and this emphasis on investments, because to be honest, it takes a lot of time for us to assess the investments, because most of the time they are not clear or not there. So if you plan to have investments, first of all, create investments in the application form and don't try to hide them without declaring them, because we will if the project is approved, we will in any case change that. So please, this is really important, and try to well describe the investments. Let's go now to the output and results indicators with Pascal. Thank you, Pascal.
Yes, so in the application form, you will have to declare the outputs and the results you are expecting to reach. So here on this slide, you can see what is framed. Okay, so what is framed is the program indicators on the outputs and the results. So for example, the first one is called RCO83. It's about strategies and action plans that are jointly developed. And you can see that this is linked to the result expected. These strategies and action plans will have to be taken up by organizations. So we have three types of outputs: strategies and action plans, solutions, and the organizations that are cooperating. These are the three outputs. We have the related results that you will have to complete in the application form. And regarding your project, your outputs will feed our program indicators. You can see what is linked. For instance, the solutions that you will provide. You will have to give the number of the solutions jointly developed, and this will be taken up or upscaled by organizations. Okay, so just to draw your attention on what is expected in which specific objective, as you can see in specific objective 1.1, we do not expect any strategies and action plans to be developed. Now I can hear a dog. That's funny. Dogs are really. Anyway, so this is normal if you don't find the choice of this indicator in the GEM system, because this is not allowed for a specific objective 1.1. All the others are of course possible.
I'm sorry, I think you muted. Sorry.
Okay, so I heard a dog, but you didn't hear me, so I don't know.
Mute you at that time.
Okay,
Okay.
I was saying that in the application form regarding the outputs, you will have to declare. It's in the work plan section. Of course, you will have to give the title, the target value, and especially the description, which is important for us to really see what will be produced by the project. This is for the outputs. And then regarding the results, it is in section C.5, and here again, you will have to provide the title, the target value, and the description. You will have you can find all the definitions, the complete definitions of what are our outputs and results in the program manual. But here you will have some tips that you have to think about when writing your application form. That the first one is that you always select the output indicator RCO87, because it is the organizations that are cooperating, meaning you, the partners, and the associated partners. So it will be there anyway. Regarding the
Yes. I think cannot hear you clearly.
Let's put a bit closer now.
Is it better now? Okay, I'll try to speak louder. Regarding the action plans and strategies and the solutions, they have to be jointly developed. This is what will be filled in the application form, not the local implementation, the one that will be jointly developed, at least between two partners. You also have to check, you can check the criteria for validation of these outputs in our program manual, because it has to respect specific criteria. And also when declaring the target values, especially regarding the results, you have to think that, for instance, a solution that will be taken up, maybe it will not be taken up by all the partners or associated partners. So be realistic and try to be as clear as possible. You have an estimation of the trend that we observed in previous projects, so maybe you can use this to set your target values for the result indicators. And I think that's it. We can move to the mandatory activities.
Thank you very much, Pascal. Let's jump to the mandatory activities now. We will answer to all the questions just after this section. So Judith, now please for the first mandatory activities.
Thank you, and hello everybody. So my presentation is going to be quite short, so not that many mandatory activities, 3 of them. The carbon footprint that has already been evoked by my colleague, the contribution to the result amplification strategy and the work with the governance projects that have been mentioned as well, and the communication activities that will be actually presented by my colleague, communication officer, Céline. So the carbon footprint. So first, I would like to be very clear, mandatory activities, the name is quite straightforward and intuitive. It means we want to see this activity clearly in the work packages. As mentioned, not all of them needs to have deliverables, like the carbon footprint. The carbon footprint has been made particularly to help you follow the project internal functioning management. We provide you with a methodology and a tool. So that means you do not need to forecast specific budget for this activity. And it's really about internal management, like travel, catering, things like that. You will have the PowerPoint later, so you can have a look through the link to the tool we're using. You will have to submit a report at each reporting period, so every 6 months. All partners will have to provide the data, and one of the partners, of the consortium, will be the project coordinator for the carbon footprint. Second mandatory activity. It's not working that well. Oops. Here it is. Okay. The contribution to the result amplification strategy. So as it has been presented, you will work in link with governance projects. So one being an institutional dialogue and one a thematic community. It's about networking mainly and capitalizing with other thematic projects of your mission. This implies, as you can see on the left of the slide, face-to-face meetings, joint events. There's at least, for instance, one a community event per year. You will also have to provide video for your projects and some training material for the Euromed Academy. So once again, we want you to really describe this activity in your work plan, and as much as possible also describe the partners that will be in charge of this work. As a logic, you should also, for some of this activity, forecast some budget, especially I think for instance for the video of the project. But if you do it internally, that's fine. Just put it in the work plan. So activity can be included in any work package, and you will find all the reference documents and specificities on this activity in the program manual. Okay. Okay, and now, thank you. And now I'm gonna leave the floor to my communication officer, Céline Miette, that will present you the rest of the communication activity.
Thank you, Judith. Indeed, now please Céline for the communication activities.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me well for now, so far? It seems so, I think. Okay. So communication is important in our daily life. Let's say if it's working.
You need to control it. Yes, now,
Now, okay, now you can.
now we catch your attention.
That's it.
Why do we have a chicken on our
Okay,
slide?
so this is to tell that communication is important in our daily life. Let's say you are at the supermarket, you see there's this wonderful chicken. It can be good, perfect, great, but you don't know nothing about that because there is no label, there is no information about that. So this is kind of what is your project looks like if you don't tell anything about it. So basically, you have to give people information. Okay, you can hear me, okay? So here we got a label, a logo, the Interreg one, just for a change. That can be also seen as a brand of quality and known about citizens and let's say in our case the European stakeholders. So what to tell you that communication is key for your project, and this is also of strategic importance for Interreg projects. It helps you achieving project objectives, reaching your targets, increasing the impact of the project, and capitalizing on results. So as we are talking about the mandatory activities, the only communication mandatory activity is that each project has to have a communication strategy. It's already time to think about that, because even if you will have to draft your communication strategy once your project is approved, we believe that it is important to integrate your communication activities in the application form. So you must have in mind the communication strategy since this application stage. So what does it mean? You have to know the communication goals, the targets you want to reach with your project, the channels you are going to use, the key messages and resources you will have at your disposal. You can find some guidelines on our website in the document and tool section and in project implementation. So here is a sneak peek of the strategy you will develop. So basically, we start from the project objective you already set. Then from the project objective, you will create a communication objective and then the communication activities and deliverables. Each project must have at least one communication objective. This is a minimum. You can have, and this is encouraged to have many communication objectives according also to your project objectives. The number depends on your project complexity and goals. So from the 1 per work package. So how to integrate communication in your application form concretely. So before, if some of you were already involved in 1420 Interreg Med projects or maybe in other programs, we had a dedicated work package for communication. Now, you are requested to have a cross-cutting approach to integrate communication in all your project activities. So This is to favor the transversality of communication as a support for each project objective and work package, and to have a more conscientious way of thinking about the conception and implementation of communication and projects. So basically, communication activities and objective must be directly integrated in the work packages. So precisely to allow the communication strategy to be fully embedded in the project overall strategy. So how to add your communication activities in the work package? So directly in the description of each activity. It can be a standalone activities, or if they are relevant enough and of significant importance for the project, you have to use descriptive titles. So avoid like communication activity. This is not communication activity, means quite nothing. You have to describe, explain what it will be about. And the same for the communication deliverables, also in the work packages. So directly in the description field, and avoid still like key deliverables such as newsletter. Also, the deliverables that are provided by the program and you do not need to budget it are the project logos. So your logo will be the same according to the mission you will be part of, and it will be your acronym of the project. Then we will provide you with the project website with functionalities, and also a Basecamp account, which is practically where you can share calendar files, or for your internal work within the partnership. Then in the section C7.3 of the application form, you will be asked to describe your communication approach. So basically, one, the coordination. So you will have to identify who will lead the communication and ensure all partners are involved in your communication. Regarding the transfer of results, you will have to explain also in this section how communication will support your project result dissemination, and also indicate and justify the channels you will use. There is no need to repeat communication activities here, as you already mentioned it in each work packages. I would like to emphasize on the role of the communication officer, because this is an important role to consider in the project, because it will be responsible for the whole project communication activities, to coordinate also with all the partners of the program. It must have experience in communication, because communication is not just a label on the chicken. You have to know about things, you have to have experience to think about how to reach your targets in the best way possible. The communication officer of your project will have to work closely with thematic community projects and the program, so us. And he or she will be also attending some external events to promote the project. You can find the job description, the whole job description, in the program manual. So concretely, just to sum up, so in the work packages, you will put your activities, deliverables, and be specific in your description, just remember. And in the C7.3 section, you will put your whole communication approach. So to remember, for communication, be clear on your objectives and targets. Plan strategically. Prioritize your communication and remember of its importance, and integrate it into your work packages. So that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Celine, for this information on the communication strategy and activities, which is an important part of the application form and of the implementation of the project per se. So all what has been explained here from Axel presentation, Pascal, Judith, and Celine are included in the work plan, which is one assessment criteria, one question of the assessment. However, it is weighted 2.5, so it's the most important part of the assessment. So please consider this. It's really important that all those parts are assessed together to ensure the consistency of the work plan and that the work plan will is structured in a way that it will answer to the objective of the project and respects also all the prerequisites and the requirements of the program. So I would suggest to have a 5-minute comfort break and to come back for questions afterwards, and then we will go to the budget section. So let's come back at 11:20 and with questions so that you have the time to think about questions to ask. Thank you. I hope you had time to grab a coffee. Okay, so we have some questions. I get with some of the questions and we'll try to answer to all of them, to those that are written, and then we will give you the floor for any question you can have by raising your hand, please.
So we have a written question about the investment. So the first one is, could you please provide us with some example of type of investments? For example, the development of early warning system could be an investment, as well as an IT monitoring tool.
So whichever element that you need for your pilot actions, including immaterial, is to be considered an investment. So for example, things that we have with projects that are ongoing now, if you are installing a charger for electric vehicles, that is an investment. But also if you are developing a software that will be used during your pilot actions, that is also an investment. So just think about your pilot actions, what you need to develop your pilot actions, and that will be the investment. It's very important to be clear about that in the title and the description of the investment. We really need to know what you are going to develop. Don't just say investments for pilot action 1. Just put as a title what you are gonna invest into.
So we have another question linked to the investments. Could you please specify whether by allocation in the investment section, we will have to specify the municipality or the specific address of the investment?
In principle, yes, you need to provide all the information in the investment section, including the specific address. We can understand though, as this is a strategic territorial project and you have also this study phase first, that the specific location might be under certain circumstances decided a bit afterwards because you have to do the study first. But in this case, that you have to explain it, and eventually the specific location would have to be provided. And I said it before, but if the owner of the location of the building or the place where you're installing the investment is not the partner, then you need an agreement, a written and signed agreement. Even if the owner is an associated partner, you will need the agreement anyway.
We have now a question linked to the deliverables. So do the internal deliverables should be listed in the description of the deliverables in GEMS?
It's not necessary. It depends on if you need to describe the approach, you could. However, it's not something that we need in specific for the deliverable. So just the key deliverables are enough. And if the activity is well described to understand how we reach this deliverable, we don't need more than that.
We have now a question linked to the mandatory activities. So should the result amplification strategy activity be also included in non-governance projects?
Yes, indeed, it's a mandatory activity since the very beginning of the program. So from the second call, indeed, it's for all. Of course, the role is different depending on the type of project. So a thematic project will have a role to produce results that will be then reused and transferred by the governance project also within the result amplification strategy. But in any case, you have to plan an activity in order to work with the governance projects, okay? Participating in meetings, providing information. The video also of the project is in this mandatory activity. So please, this is written in the terms of references and in the manual also, and is very specific. You have to plan time, resources, staff resources, and budget also to participate in those activities, which of course will be further defined when your project will be approved by the governance projects once the project will start. But try to have in mind the participation in these activities and to budget them.
We have now two questions linked to the partnership. So the first one is, can the partnership be modified to some extent or not? And the second one, which is linked, in case the feedback of the evaluation suggested to improve the partnership, could it be possible to add new partners? And which is the maximum number of partners envisaged?
Okay, so in principle, you can change everything in the application form. However, of course, it should be linked to what you have written before and to the assessment, because, for example, you won't change the topic, you won't change the type of territory you are tackling. You are not going to move from rural areas to islands, for example. It has to be in the concept of your project, but you can improve the descriptions. You can improve the information you are providing. As far as the partnership is concerned, unless it's we haven't by memory, I think that in the 25 we haven't any project where we ask for a change in the partnership in the assessment. But if you think that in order to improve some specific aspects of the application form, you would need to change or to add a partner, it could be done. Yes, you can discuss it in the case, but also during the bilateral meeting, for example. It's something that is possible. And the maximum number of partners envisaged is the one stated in the application, in the terms of references. It's about 10 to 20 partners, if I remember well. But this is a recommendation, it's not mandatory. So you can, if all the roles are clearly stated, clearly justified, and if the partnership remains manageable, let's say, it's okay. For the communication officer, the full-time or part-time position is not, there is nothing obligatory or compulsory on that. It depends on your project. But it's not a new, it can be one of the partners that has this specific role in the partnership. And we have
question about investment again. So the first one, which I think is linked to the next one, could you please explain again how the investment is managed by just one partner, for all the partner countries and case study areas? Yeah.
No, it's not like that. It's not that one partner manages all the investment for all the case study areas. Let's say, for example, I'm gonna put a very simple example. Let's say that as a project, you are gonna install some garbage bins, for example, in different pilot areas. So then for every pilot action, there will be a partner in charge of installing the garbage bin on their specific area. So then you will have one investment that would be installing the garbage bins in pilot area 1, another investment that would be garbage bins in pilot investment 2. And then each of those investments need to be carried out by one single partner. So it can't be that two different partners finance garbage bins in the pilot area 1. So it's one investment needs to be taken in charge by one partner, but also one partner can be working in two different investments. There's no problem with that.
Yes, and it's not compulsory to have one investment per partner. There is no minimum fixed. If some projects can have no investments, depend on the type of pilot activities that you are implementing. And also the case where we can have one investment for all would be, for example, on the software. A software that will be used by all can be, in that case, will be on the ownership will be and on the management of the investment will be on one single partner. It cannot be split it in the different partners. This is the example which goes, on the other side of the beans. Yes, the beans, for example, will be for each single partner, and but the software can be one investment borne by one single partner for the benefit of all.
That connects with other thing. If you can also have equipment that is not attached to the investments themselves. Not every equipment that you buy must be linked to your pilot actions. Then therefore it doesn't have to be linked to a single investment. We will go more into detail with the budget part. But yeah.
We have now a question linked to the distinction between deliverable and key deliverable. Could a communication strategy be a key deliverable? Could you please provide to us with some example of the management and communication key deliverables?
In management and communication, there are no key deliverables as such. So communication strategy is not a key deliverable. It's compulsory to do it, but it's not a key deliverable. Management deliverables are not key deliverables. The reports are, we know that you will provide reports. We don't need to have them in key deliverables. Key deliverables are really linked to the implementation of your core activities.
Now we have a question about the partnership. If the evaluation states improve geographical coverage of the project, how can we do it? Adding a partner from a different country or through associated partners?
Yes, you can, as we have already, first of all, this is already perhaps linked to the individual feedback, because then it depends also on the situation. If there's a feedback, but you can, in general, you can thank partners, as we have mentioned already. You can also provide more information or precise information on the associated partners, but it has to be seen by case to case. Also, you have to see that, of course, your budget in general is somehow also the limit of the partners that you can add, because you have a basically, you have an indicative budget that you should respect, and so you cannot go beyond that framework, of course. So you have to compose with this with different things that are important.
And now we have a question linked to the document that should be submitted for the second phase of the.
Yeah. So first of all, for all the declarations, we will speak about that at the end of the presentation. So after the budget, so I will skip this for a moment. For the Courtesy application form, it's already available on the website on since this morning or yesterday evening. So late evening. So it's already in on the page of the call. Okay. And for the declarations, we come back afterwards. So if we don't have other questions for the moment, let's jump to the budget, and we will have a new a new afterwards time to discuss again and to have to answer to your questions after the budget.
So good morning to everyone. I'm Julia, and in this specific session, I will provide you some useful information on how to complete the budget in GEMS, our monitoring system platform used by our program. So before starting, I would like to remind you some main principles which are essential to build a realistic and reasonable budget. Keep in mind that the budget must adhere to three core principles outlined in the Financial Regulation 2018 1046, and these are mainly economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Economy, because it means that resources should be timely, appropriate in terms of quality and quantity, and produce at very good price. Efficiency, because must ensure a good balance between resource use, activity undertaken, and result achieved. And effectiveness, because must be focused on achieved planned objective through the implemented activities. Remember that budget must be in euros and cover the activities implemented within the Interreg Euro-Med cooperation. It should be structured per 6 cost categories that we are going to see in the next slide, and must be aligned with the program, with the work plan project per period, and developed in close cooperation with your partnership. All this information, you have all this information in the manual and the section on the first chapter and section B, going up to my budget. Here in the next slide, we see I highlight the form of reimbursement. So I think that you know already pretty well. You can choose by real cost, and we have some novelties about simplified cost option, which concern a lump sum, which is fixed and compulsory for all projects and must be shared between project partners according to their involvement in the proposal drafting. The amount is increased compared to the previous programming period 14-20 and is fixed at 30,000 euro. And we have two main flat rate, which impacts the office and administration, for which is fixed to all partners at with a rate of 15%, and a flat rate for travel and accommodation, which is a new element for this programming period, and the percentage is specific for IPA partners, fixed at 22% and 15% for European partners. The next slide is some key points to keep in mind, and you should ensure with an agreement with your partners. So be agreed with the origin of the amount of the co-financing, travel and accommodation method, the flat rate or real cost, to share also the preparation cost if the case, and be aware about the state of relevance activity and the follow-up of action, if any. In any case, all this information will appear in the declaration that must be seen at the end of the submission of this section. And in the case of the project is approved, any change of this element would be a significant impact of the project startup phase. So try to do your best in this process. I would like to then start with a kind of demonstration how to complete the budget in GEMS. So everybody of you have an account, so you have to access in your project, and you need to go to the section B, the partner overview, and you click and you access in your organization. The top bar will give you many sections, and for the budget you need to focus only on three specific sections that I show you in the slide, but I also suggest you to follow this logic. So start with state aid, which aided section, the
identify whether the planned activity in your project are stated relevant through the self-check relevance of the data. And after you can jump to the budget section where you will be able to entry all the information about expenditure and activities. And the final section is the co-financing. The final section is co-financing because you need to have the budget complete to generate the automatic information linked to the co-financing. So here we can start with the state aid section that will help you to know if your activity is state relevance. This page it's composed mainly by two parts. You will see that there are two main part of question split in criterion 1 and criterion 2. In the criterion 1, you need to the main question is your activity involved in economic activities through the project? You need to answer yes or not, but if in any case you need to provide a justification. So if, for example, you don't your activity are not generate an economic activities, you can state that the you do not plan to carry out activity on your own, or not. No operator could be benefit on this activity. Concerning the criterion 2, this focus if you receive if you receive an advantage within the framework of the project. For instance, if you plan to select external service provider via public procurement, there is not an undue advantage. If your answer is yes, you need to provide a justification. So you need to afterwards link the relevant activity to the state aid, and you will have a drop-down menu highlight in the circle, in the red circle, where you need to select if the appropriate regulation scheme. So you have the Ministry's regulation, the GBR Article 20, or indirect state aid. In any case, this check will highlight the result if your activities are state relevance or not. After complete this section, you jump to the budget section. So the first step is to input fact and figure of your budget. The layout overview initially remain empty, is shown in the screenshot of the top, and remain empty, but it will display a complete overview once all the budget information is entered. So you can see that the 6 cost categories are here. You have the staff cost, you have the office and administration, travel and accommodation, external expertise and service, and infrastructure and work. The main thing to do here is to choose and select the calculation method. So select if you want to stay with flat rate on real cost, and if you will select the flat rate, you will see that the cost categories will be automatically reduced because office and administration and travel and accommodation will be calculated on staff cost. Remember also that if you choose flat rate, you cannot change anymore for all programming period and for
in any case, what you have, if you are already a partner in an ongoing project, what you have chosen for this or those projects will have to be chosen here also. So
Yeah.
if you are in flat rate in other projects, you have to select flat rate. If you are in real cost in other projects, you have to choose real cost. This cannot be changed. It's have to be adapted to be adopted for all the projects. So ask as lead partner, ask all your partners if they are already declared in a project with which method and apply this one. Okay, this is really important. Otherwise, if your project is selected, we would have to modify this information and modify the budget accordingly.
So in the next slide, we are in the staff cost. We start to enter the information related to staff cost. So now you have to navigate to the staff cost tab, and you need to add a staff cost line. In the staff function, you can add a general description if specific role are not yet validated, defined, and you need to enter also the expected amount, allocating the cost across the project period. Be careful because keep in mind that this amount will grow up exponentially with the project implementation progress. So adjust the amount for the variation in cost over the project phase. Just below, I put a screenshot of how it should looks like. So you can see that the amounts have been entered. So the office and administration and travel accommodation are calculated automatically, and you need to save your change before passing to the next cost categories in order to avoid any losing of the input entry. The next is the external expertise and service. So here you repeat the same things. You add an expertise and service and navigate to the description. You need to clearly describe the external expertise and service you may have. For instance, you can take as example the national controller cost or the kickoff meeting, because are usually the things that you have to national controller you need to appoint at the very beginning of the project. You need to specify the work procedure, so provide details about the procedure used. Example, you can put public procurement if is the case of the national controllers, and if and here you have the possibility to link the external expertise to an investment, and you can specify it or select not if it's not applicable in this file. I will make you an example in next chart. So here I don't spend any more time to explain you an investment. Just enter the amount of your external expertise, and always save your change about using inputs. Be attention here, because you can see in the screenshot that information with a little circle on the English and French tabs, that the system sometimes need to require that information are included in both language, but we do not need the French translation, so you can put, as Sophie told you before, any kind of letter is fine. The English section will be enough. We jump to equipment section. So you navigate to equipment, you add an equipment of your budget, you provide a description of your equipment, and here you can state if your equipment is part of an investment or not. If yes, You need to select the appropriate choice, so investment, and you need to link the equipment to an investment activity previously created in the section C and the work package X, for example, in the left side of your panel. As Axel, you explained before, you enter the financial periods. For example, if the equipment was purchased in the first period, you just enter the amount on this first period. And that's it. If your equipment is not a part of an investment, it can be claimed on a pro rata basis, and you need to provide a clear depreciation plan in line with your project time frame and applicable national regulation. So the main things here, you click to save change and you go to infrastructure and work, and you do the same thing, providing a clear description on infrastructure and work plan to include specifying the infrastructure and the proposed within the project. You be sure that all the tabs are completed with the award procedure, to link the infrastructure and work with an investment. Here there is a little error, so it's not equipment, it's the infrastructure and work. And you indicated whether the infrastructure works are linked to an investment. You enter also the total cost allocated, and you specify whether the cost is based on depreciation plan or that directly apply on the project period. So the budget is almost completed. You save your change, and you go through the co-financing section. Here, all the information are based on the whole budget information entered. So the Interreg Euromed funds are automatically calculated. However, this must be selected on the platform. So anyway, you will have only one option, Interreg fund, as a choice. Partner contribution are also included and must be aligned with the data entry in the budget section. So be ensured to check all the information that you entered, and this will be automatically generated. I remind you that the rate of this programming period is fixed at 18%, and the system calculates the remaining 20% as the partner contribution based on the previously entered budget information. Here you can see that you can have additional, you can select additional contribution if applicable. Because some of you may include an external contribution, so you need to you have the different kind of the external contribution that can be private contribution, public contribution, or an automatic public contribution. For instance, we take as an example fondo di rotazione that apply for some countries like Italy and Greece. You need to select the legal status of this contribution and input the relevant amount. You save change, and so you confirm that all the sections are complete. After that, you have entered all information, and the last step is to define the lump sums. So you need to go to the relevant section. That is on the left panel, the section 8.1, the right, yes, and you select the project lump sum. You set the amount according with your partnership. So you have to discuss and agree with your partner to determine the amount based on your involvement on the project preparation, and you will see that in the tabs of preparation costs, only this option will appear. So you need to select it. So once you select the preparation period, the preparation cost, you can split the amount among partners by clicking on the small circles next to each partner name. You know that the amount is fixed to 37,000 euros, so you can decide to allocate the part. So it's done. You save change, you finalize your budget, and after that you can have a general overview, a global overview of your budget through the next slide that is accessible through the section D. You click on project of budget. You have three kind of project budget overview, breakdown per partners, per cost categories, and per period. So here you have all the information. I strongly recommend you to check that all the information are right and to go in the next and last, at least, step to upload the annexes that, as you know, you have 2 months from January 14 until the deadline is fixed at March 14, 25 at 1. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the mandatory annexes will have to be uploaded after the submission.
Yes, after the submission.
Yeah.
Sorry. After the submission. So I finished with the annexes, so you have this information. Remind that for each partner participating to the project, you have to upload a copy of the partner declaration, including for the lead partner. For each associate partner, the same things, and also the minimis declaration must be uploaded. Documents are generated from GEMS, must be signed and dated by the legal representative of your organization. And concerning the signature, this can be handwritten or electronic. They both are considered valid. For any other partner, for any partner that declare an investment in the application form, keep in mind that we also require the statement of capacity on and compliance with the principle for investment that follow the same logic. It must be signed and dated by the legal representative of the partner structure and in charge of the implementation of the called investment. So we go back to the check and submit of our budget. You need to go to the section E section E.1, no, sorry, application annexes. Yes. And here you almost finish. You have to ensure that all the section have been completed, and you need to click on run pre-submission check. The system will address you all the missing and incorrect information. So this will be highlighted in red. You, as the example, the screenshot in this slide, you can see that you can have the number of the incorrect information entered. So you can click on that and see what specific information need to be clarified. After having done this check, you can again resubmit the pre-submission check, and all points must be green. The section is submit, and remember that the lead partner is responsible of filling in the application form on behalf of all these. All the partnership. Don't wait the last day to do this, because it can take time, and to be more comfortable, take your time in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. So, yeah, this slide goes before the one with the annexes. Sorry, we will modify this in the report we will publish. because you first check and submit and then you upload the annexes, but I will come back on the last slides on this. Do you have any questions? I see here in the chat some questions about the budget. Let's go there.
Yeah.
And then
We have a first question. So will be a budget courtesy form provided as well?
it's in the courtesy application form, you have also the budget information.
We have also a question about the calculation method. So does the calculation method, real cost or flat rates, has to be the same for all partners?
No, it's a partner choice. So it can be different from partner to partner, depending on the choice that have been already done before, if the partner was already is already in a partnership, is an ongoing project. The courtesy application forms of the offline Word document is already on the website. So just to conclude, how to prepare and submit your application. This is a very small summary of the application procedure. We are already in the first yellow phase. So the selection of the proposals, you have been already selected. We have the feedbacks with the interviews that are planned. You will complete the full application, and then we will have the assessment phase before approval. So just to come back on the deadlines, the application form should be submitted before the 28th of February 2025 at 1 o'clock Brussels time. Run regular pre-submission checks well before the deadline to ensure that there is no red comments that impede you to submit your proposal. Reminder to put as in any mandatory field an NA or point or anything in French if you have chosen the English version. For the mandatory, and then the mandatory annexes, and I answer to some questions that we had in the chat. The mandatory annexes will be generated through the system for all the partners and the associated partners as well. So this means that after the 28th of February, you will have the possibility to generate the documents and to make the sign. If you don't have all of them from until the 14th of March, which is the deadline for the mandatory annexes, it's not a problem. It's not an eligibility criteria anymore in this programming period. So if some, for example, associated partners declarations are missing, you will be able to provide them afterwards, after the deadline. So don't be afraid of that. Why we do that? Because in the templates provided, generated directly from the system, you have already all the information from the partners. For the associated partners, also the part that is linked to their role. So of course, we cannot generate them before the submission, as they some information is automatically retrieved from the application form in the declarations. The lead partner has its own lead partner declaration, the partners their own, the associated partners also. Then for the de minimis declaration, it has all the system automatically creates for all the partners, but you don't have to sign it for all the partners, only for the partners that have declared state aid activities and have chosen the de minimis regime. So it's really rare, let's say. So you don't have to provide it for all the partners. The same goes for the investment declarations, only for the partners that are concerned by investments. There, of course, we will have more than for the de minimis, for example. Okay. So this is quite clear, I think. Deadlines 28th of February, 14th of March. However, for the annexes, you still can you can still upload them after the deadline. Here is an overview of the calendar in order just for you to know that you should expect the results of around the third week of June or start in September. And how about the exchange process between the two steps? So the objective of this exchange between the two steps is really to first now as today to inform on the full application process, but also to help you improve your application forms, to consolidate the assets of the project proposals, and to improve any weaknesses or any points that were less developed in the pre-applications. So the first step, the first meeting was this one today. And then we have the bilateral meetings with each of you. You have already received and confirmed your meetings, so the timing, and all of them will take place next week. What we will do in these bilateral meetings, it will last 45 minutes, each one, with, from the JS, short analysis of the assessment form, with a presentation of the aspects that need improvement based on the terms of references, on our expectations, and on the assessment. And this is not a place where you will present your full application form and we will base our assessment on this. No, not at all. Okay. So it's really, maybe you can ask some questions if you do not understand some comments in the assessment form. If you are not sure on how you can make some improvements, so ask if this is the right way to go, let's say to improve, but that's it. In these meetings, of course, lead partners should attend for sure. And if you wish, you can be accompanied by some or all of your project partners. This is up to you. So you can transfer the team's invitation, the Outlook invitation, to the partners that you want to be present. Also, you should know that some national authorities will also, in some cases, participate in those meetings. And of course, you already know where to find all the information, but just in case, you have a reminder here in the presentation, and also the links directly sent in the chat by my colleagues. So everything you need is here on the calls for proposal page, but also in the documents and tools with the program documents, the program manual, etc. Anything you have as courtesy in this website cannot be signed. It's not, those documents don't have to be used for signature. You need to sign, to make your partners sign only the documents that are directly generated by James. They are here just for information. Maybe if they ask you what kind of document they will have to sign, but that's it. Any regulations specific to each partner country can be found also in the website. And of course, if you have from now on until the very last minutes of the opening of the call, you can consult the frequently asked questions section of the website. And if the answer to your question is not already there because somebody else has already asked it before, you can, through the help desk, ask for your question and we will answer to you, either our communication officer, if it's a question of communication, our financial officers, if it's a question on finances, or project officers, if it's on content. We will choose. Don't worry, it's not up to you to decide who will answer, but depending on the topic, we will choose who will answer to you. And this answer will be published on the frequently asked question section of the website, in order to profit to any other partners that can have the same question. This is why we won't treat any question by email because it's important for us to ensure an equity between all participants or applicants to have this information shared with all. So, any last questions, maybe?
Yes, we are asked to clarify the budget flexibility principle for this programming period. And more precisely, is there flexibility to change between budget between categories in the implementation phase?
Yes, we have a full flexibility approach, let's say, in this programming period. This is well detailed in our program manual in the financial section, if you want to go there. But this means that you can easily, within the budget of the partner, change between the budget is flexible between cost categories. And of course, if we want to change the budget between partners, the share of, within the overall budget of the project, then you have to ask us for that. But it's also possible during implementation. Of course, on a 4-year project, we know that there are things that you cannot now precisely ensure that it will be done like that, for example, but you plan it. And then during implementation, we are flexible enough to make the changes you need.
We have also a question about the associated partner declaration. So the first one is, do you confirm that associated partner declaration can be submitted after the 14th of March?
Yes, if needed. If you don't have all of them, it's not an eligibility criteria, it's a pre-contracting criteria, so it can be also done after the 14th of March.
And to confirm one element, the form that can be signed by the associated partners will be made available only after the submission.
Yes, yes.
And I think that's it.
And yes, in the PowerPoint presentation that will be displayed on our website, we will add specific slides on each cost category regarding the eligibility of expenditure for more information. Of course, all of this is in the manual, but we know that also in the PowerPoint presentations, we may present things in a different way that could be easier for you to understand. So you will have also further information than what we have displayed here in the PowerPoint presentation that will not be sent by email to the participants because we don't have the emails of all the participants, but they will be published on our website and you can download them from the website.
There is a last question. One person is asking if the presentation and the link of the online meeting registration will be sent.
I just answered the question, but you were thinking about the questions, yes. So no. Okay. And just a last word. If you can give us your opinion on this seminar by answering the short survey that is now in the chat, please give us your opinion in order for us to always try to improve the support we are giving to you. Okay, so last question on GEMS. You have now you can have access to what you have already submitted, the pre-application part. You have access to the assessment grid through the link sent to you by our program by email. But access to the full application will be open only on the 14th of January. This is why you have the courtesy application form to start working before that on that.
Yeah. One thing, just as a detail, it's possible to activate in your GEMS account to receive notification when
Yes,
this will
that's so.
when this will be opened, because we have to click a button in your application for open the full one, the full application form. So if you enter at your profile in the GEMS screen to the right, then you can configure it in order to receive notifications directly on your email account. That might be useful.
Yes, and what is also important to talk about is the project privileges, where you can add your partners in here in order either to give them also only a read-only mode so that they can check the information which is in the application form that concern them, and also read the word application form, which they should be aware of course, because they have you have developed it with them, but to see the final results, let's say, of it. Or you can give them also, or some of them, editable rights in order maybe to contribute to the drafting or to enter their own information. However, be very cautious on this possibility, because if you are because this means that they could change things and also submit the proposal, for example, before you. So be really cautious on if you give such rights to the partners, and also be cautious, because if you are several people working together at the same time in the same application form, we are never sure of what is how the system registers the information, and you can maybe lose some information. So be very cautious on that, and avoid giving those rights to all of your partners. But the read only rights are really important to be given. Any other question? No? Okay, so we finished just on time, even before. So that's great. Thank you very much to all of you for following us. We will keep you informed of, you will see, I mean, I think by tomorrow, the documents on our website, so that you have them for next week, also to prepare if needed for next week with your bilateral meetings. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. And of course, as we won't see you all together before, it's important. I will just wish you a nice end of the year and a Merry Christmas. Because I personally want to see all of you in the bilateral meetings. So and good luck for your for this second phase of the application. Bye bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yes, question.